Yes, yes, people. What's good? Welcome back to the Pole Position Pod on A in Sports. We've got the Singapore Grand Prix review today. We've got a lot to talk about. George Russell is the champion of the Singapore Grand Prix, and McLaren are constructors champions officially now. That is officially sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered. If you'd say, um, but big up to everyone in the chat everyone who's tuning in. Hit the like button, sub to the channel. Sub to King's channel. The link will be in the description of the video. I'll put the link there. And sub and Ranveer as well. Big up to you, Ranveer. Welcome back,
Cheers,
bro.
bro.
Been a couple of shows, but hope you're well.
Good to be
Hope,
back.
hope you're always well, King. And then obviously, I know you have something to share about King as well. And if you want to, you don't have to. If you don't want to, it's all good, bro.
Oh no, I'll do it at the end. I'll do it at the end.
No worries, bro. No worries. But yeah, I mean, George Russell won the Singapore Grand Prix. But let's talk about McLaren this season so far. I mean, they're the constructors champions. They're officially the constructors champions. Unless you might want to start off with anything you want.
Yeah, so McLaren wrapped up their constructors title today in Singapore. Last season, I had to wait until Abu Dhabi, the final race of the season, because Ferrari was still hot on their tails. But this year, they've had absolutely no competition in terms of constructors. I think come Abu Dhabi, they'll have the largest constructors points tally of any constructor in history, and it has come with a bit of baggage because you saw that turn one incident with Norris nudging into Piastri, and you also saw them Piastri locking up on the final lap, chasing Norris, and then also the crash in Montreal where Norris tried to launch in, launch down the inside of Piastri and he ended up crashing into the wall. But I think that they've done well to finally seal this constructors, and it was coming from the first race in Australia. You could see that McLaren had pace, and I think that they would it would be very difficult for them not to wrap it up, to not win this constructors championship.
King?
Oh yeah, congratulations to McLaren. They've deserved it. They've been the best constructor this year by a mile, as Rand said. They've shown from the start that they had the car with the pace. Obviously, they've slowed down a bit in recent weeks. Obviously, been caught up by Mercedes and Red Bull alike, but because of the gap being so big, all they needed was a little bit of points. And unless they were going to DNF for the rest of the season, they were always going to get it. They've got it now. In terms of the incident, it is a shame that Norris had to be dirty to get past his teammate, but it happens. But now they won the constructors, the gloves are off. I think we're gonna see teammate v teammate battles. I think papaya rules are gonna be out the window. That was the warning shot from Norris. And Oscar, it's time for you to drive like a madman. It's time for you to get the elbows out. Don't respect your teammate anymore. You've already won constructors, so you don't get a point. The only points that matter are your points now. If you want to be drivers champion, yeah, you got to take care of business and don't allow for Norris to ever do that to you on track ever again. Take him out
Yeah,
before he gets past. But outside of that, congratulations to the Papaya team, Papaya, McLaren on top, and also congrats to George as well for an absolutely awesome performance from start to finish. Led every lap, and yeah, man, dominant win from him.
yeah, 100%. And coming back to what you said about McLaren being constructors champions, last year in Abu Dhabi, that was the best they could settle for because Norris was not going to win that drivers' championship. And this year, they've got the prospect of both drivers still being in the title fight. I think they're only separated by 22 points right now,
Yep.
Norris and Piastri.
Yeah.
And now you've got the prospect of Verstappen in the fight as well. Now it's going to take a lot of work. We'll come back to this later, talking about Russell's victory. But Verstappen's going to need to win every race and every sprint for the remainder of the season. So let's just give Russell his credit for that flawless victory today because he led every lap apart from when Norris and Piastri hadn't pitted and when Russell had pitted. But apart from that, his race was spectacular because he kept eking out the gap from Verstappen behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. I mean, McLaren, like you guys said, they deserved it all year. From the first race to I'd say up until this previous month, McLaren have been on top form. They've just been the car that everyone looks at as the most dominant car. I think it's clear. I think it's clear. I mean, obviously you got Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, two drivers that have done so much for McLaren in the last year. Obviously, they won the constructors championship last year. They've retained their title, and now they've got it as well. So yeah, I can only say congratulations to McLaren. They won back-to-back constructors champion for the first time since 1990 something. I forgot what it was. 1960 was it 1960 something? I don't remember how.
I think so.
Around those times. So big up to McLaren. But now it's time to put team aside and focus on individual drivers, because two of them, of which are competing for championships now. They're competing for a championship now. And I don't know if you guys heard, but apparently Oscar Piastri was unhappy about something at the end. There was something about him not being. He was obviously part of the celebration. I thought he was in the celebration, but I think there was some rumor about him not being happy about something. I don't know what it was. I have to go back and look at it. But I don't know if you man can clarify in the chat if anyone's tuning in, if anyone wants to add. But if you man know, you can.
Yeah. So when the race finished, and obviously the cars have to come back in the pit lane. Yeah. Zach Brown was giving him Oscar Piastri a message saying, "Oh, congratulations on the constructors championship," or "We've done this, this, that, and third." And then mid-message, Oscar Piastri cut him off. He cut the telecom communication.
Fair enough. I mean, at the end of the day, now, like I said, it's time to put team aside and compete for that championship. I mean, Lando's cut the deficit now. He's finished above Oscar for the past 3 races now already. 3 races in a row. He's finished above Oscar.
Last 2 weeks ago he DNF'd, and then Monza, obviously that was team orders. So this is the 3rd race running where he's finished above his teammate. Norris has finished above Piastri.
Oscar Piastri, man, that pit stop, the wing didn't come off as well, didn't it? Apparently they were trying to replace the wing or something, the front wing.
Yeah.
And then they failed to do so, man. They failed to do so.
Yes, Joshua.
Big up to Adam Partridge and big up to Joshua every single time. Make sure you guys tune into tomorrow's show. Josh will be back in the channel for tomorrow's Premier League show, people. So tune into
Watch that.
So yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. King, you want to add into that as well about the feud at the end?
Feud between.
Was it Oscar and I think that was like some issue between Oscar
animosity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Listen, they're both fighting for the championship, and the way that Norris went past him was dirty to an extent. He hit the back of Verstappen's car, nearly crashed Oscar Piastri out the race, and it was aggressive, sure. Did I like it? Yes, I did like it. I did like it a lot. You want to see Norris do that. If anything, that's what I've been asking for Norris for most of the season, to be ruthless. And now Piastri knows that his teammate isn't his friend. And going forward, there is going to be animosity. They're fighting for a drivers' championship. They're fighting for their legacy. They're fighting for their name in the lights, to be a part of a list of elite drivers that not many in the history of this sport has been a part of. You look at the great drivers that couldn't get on that list. Even Oscar Piastri's fellow Australian, Danny Rick, didn't get on that list, and people thought he should have. So these two men, they're fighting for their honor. They're fighting for their name, their legacy, and that's going to lead to epic driving. So the next couple races, they're going to be on each other's necks. You're going to see them crash into each other. You're going to see them have animosity. You're going to see them fight to have the right to be able to have the first pit stop. You saw towards the end of the race when they asked Lando, is it okay if Piastri has the first pit stop? He said no. He said, no, I only care about my race. And that's what's going to happen now towards the end of the season. As I said, they've won the constructors, so they're not teammates no more. They're enemies or frenemies, to be exact. In the same car, but they're fighting for a title. And with the big bad Max on their background as well, they can't afford to make any mistakes going forward, because if they do, Max is definitely going to be there to munch up those mistakes and win those races. They're fortunate that Mercedes came to play today. They're fortunate that Mercedes came to play today and George Russell had a flawless race, because they both finished behind Max, but it doesn't really mean much because it was only limited points difference. But we'll see going forward what happens going forward in the season, if Mercedes do keep this pace going, and what will happen between them and Max going towards the end of the season. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, it's started to simmer. It's gonna get worse. They're probably gonna have a couple of uncomfortable conversations about this race. They'll probably have a PR answer saying that they had the conversation, they nip it in the bud, etc., etc. On the same team, blah blah blah. But deep inside, Piastri knows what Norris did was wrong, and Norris probably wanted to do that. So we'll see. We'll see going forward how it increases the racing. And yeah, as I said, Papaya rules out the window. No more nice team.
yeah.
No more nice drivers. And
Mhm.
and that's what we want to see. We want to actually see a fight for the title, and I think that's what's going to happen going forward.
I agree with you, man. Honestly, 100%. Because do you know what I have a feeling now is gonna happen? I have a funny feeling that there's no more team briefings anymore. There will be just Norris briefing and Piastri briefing. Forget McLaren briefing. It'll be individual driver briefing now, because them two compete for a championship. But Max has now definitely made things more interesting. Max is now. Do you know what it is? Do you know what I think pushed Norris? Do you know what I think really pushed Lando Norris? Last season, Max Verstappen pushed him. This season, Max has now come back into the mix. Max has definitely pushed him to get back into things now. He's now 22 points off Oscar now. So one
think
DNF
so.
for Oscar, and one win for one win for Lando, bro. Lando's ahead. It's literally fine margins now. So Lando's got to really take these next few races really seriously, and he's really got to finish in a strong position, because that'll help him with the point. That'll help him with a lot going forward. That'll help him with obviously his points total, and Piastri as well. He's gonna be behind Norris. Verstappen's gonna be in the mix as well. I don't think Verstappen will win the championship, but I think Verstappen will definitely be in the mix. He's now definitely pushed them to he's now put a lot of pressure. I think Verstappen coming back into the mix has put a lot of pressure in the McLaren's team as well. He's put a lot of pressure into the McLaren drivers, like them, Oscar and Lando have felt the pressure from Max. That's why they're now struggling. Because when a driver like Max is when you're competing against a driver like Max, the best driver on the grid, in my personal opinion, yeah, bro, you're gonna struggle. Then that's when you know. Remember, I can use the analogy for the Premier League as well. Arsenal felt the pressure of Man City when they were behind. You know what I mean? Then Arsenal crumbled. When you're competing against giants that have done it, that have been there, done it, you fold. Oscar and Lando are maybe feeling the pressure of Max Verstappen. Maybe that's why they're starting to fold. They're not dominating races like they used to, or previously. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But I know you wanted to add something from here.
Yeah, so you know how Lando Norris and Max Verstappen are very good friends off track? Well, it's not the same story on track, because last year, remember in Austria, when Verstappen had a puncture because Norris hit him, and then last year in Colta and Mexico City, they had feuds off track, and Verstappen was like, "I know you have the faster car, but I'm not going to let you pass just because of that. You're going to have to earn your right to pass me because I am a gargantuan of a driver." And I think that this year, Norris and Piastri, I think they've realised that they might be buddies off track, but on track, it's just they're fighting to, as African King said, they're fighting for the name to be in a history book as the 2025 FIA Formula One World Drivers' Champion. And now that the constructors' title is wrapped up and that's safe and sound, home and secure, they've just got to gone for the drivers' championship. And Piastri today, when Norris hit him, he said, we're going to talk about the end of team meeting. And then he also made a comment. He said, that's not very team-like, but sure. You do not want to hear that from your driver, because that was just a racing incident. The FIA reviewed it, and they said no further action will be taken because that is just a racing accident.
That's
He
what
hit his wing.
McLaren wanted to take action for themselves. They didn't want the FIA to get involved. To be fair, but sorry, continue, bro.
No, but did you see at the top it said FIA
Yeah,
has noted this incident, and then it says no further action
yeah.
because that's just a racing incident. It just happens in the heat of the moment where the drivers are jostling for position, turn one, lap one, and he almost hit Verstappen as well. But that was
No,
was
I think
basically a right crossing.
He did. He hit Verstappen. I think all three cars at the start collided. I think was it like 6 incidents at the start? I think even Leclerc had an incident as well. I think even
No. I don't think Leclerc had it. I think
Pinto had an incident.
Was it Antonelli or Behrman?
Yeah,
Colapinto.
Behrman had an incident.
Behrman, yeah, Behrman.
Behrman had an
Behrman
incident.
and Colapinto, innit?
Carlos Sainz had an incident as well. I think Isaac,
so. Yeah.
Isaac Hadjar had an incident too. I think even what was it? No, George Russell had no incident. He dominated the race from the start. He never lost a place.
Yeah.
But Max and Max and Lando had a bit of a collision on I think Max's back right tire.
No, Norris bashed the back of his car just slightly.
I think it was the diffuser actually.
Yeah. But the thing is, the thing with the incident, with them saying no further action, is because Norris and Piastri are in the same car. Because they're in the same car, no team wants either one of their drivers to get a time penalty. So if let's say if Piastri was in any other team, there may have been a penalty for that because it would have been two different teams. But because they're teammates, most of the time you're not going to get especially in the first lap or in any lap really, you're not going to get a penalty because teams aren't going to complain about it. If anything, they're not going to want the penalty to happen because it's between their own drivers.
Yeah, they want to sort themselves actually.
Yeah, but if Piastri, let's say, was, for example, Charles Leclerc and Norris did that, Norris probably could have got a 5-second penalty because he did technically drive a car off track and nearly crashed into Oscar. So aggressive, dangerous, yes. An incident, yes. Wild, yes. But I enjoyed it. I think Norris needs to do that more often. You need to be aggressive sometimes. In order for you to get the points, you need to be aggressive. And with that, he was able to reduce the gap between him and Oscar. The only thing I would say about Norris is he should have done better in terms of passing Max, because he could have got second. He should have got second actually. But he was driving a bit too risky, I think, especially with the tire offset that he had and everything. He should have finished second.
Yeah, the closest move that Norris got to overtaking Verstappen was, I think it was 10 or so laps ago, where he put the car down the inside, but Verstappen defended it very well. That's the closest he got all evening. And I think when Piastri's front wing got mangled and they tried to pit to try and replace the front wing, and then the rear left tire wouldn't come off, so then his pit stop was 5.2 seconds. And I think that racing incident with Norris and Piastri at the start there, Norris needs to lay that marker. He's laid that marker down. He needs to do that more often because Piastri is known as Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Calm. But Norris needs to get Piastri like the state of mind he was in Silverstone with the restart, and then he needs to get him to do more of those comments where he's saying, "Oh, that's not very team-like." Because
get in his head, basically. Yeah,
and make him do something erratic where he's gonna lose positions, lose time, and Norris gets the advantage.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. George Russell is the champion of the Singapore Grand Prix. I mean, he started off the race dominant from the start. I mean, if you look at his tires, they were getting a grip of the race so well. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, it was literally 1 second, then went to 3, then went to 6, and then 8, and then 10 in the space of 20 minutes. You know, that right there. I've never seen Verstappen dog walked by George Russell like that in my life. I'm serious. Like that is. Do you know what it is? I thought now, looking back at yesterday's quali, Verstappen 0.10 seconds actually costed him big time. Those 0.10 seconds actually costed him big time. You know what I mean? I think I've never seen George Russell dominate a race against Max Verstappen like this in my life.
This happened in Montreal.
It.
He did this in
Fair with you,
Montreal.
Singapore. Because you know what it is. Verstappen was almost 10 seconds behind George Russell at one point. It was almost going to be 10 seconds behind, I think. And especially with how Singapore, the track is in Singapore, he was far ahead, way ahead. It wasn't even close. And Russell completely dominated this race. Literally, I have nothing more to say. He those 0.10 seconds that he finished ahead of Max in the fastest lap time. Yeah, that won the race. That won him the race easily won the race. But all right, go on review.
Yeah, you know that incident where Norris was going too slowly to go back in the pit lane after qualifying yesterday when he affected Verstappen's lap. I do believe that did affect Verstappen's lap in a negative way because these ground effect cars, even if you're 2, 3, 4 seconds ahead, the car behind will still get affected. So he was just jogging back to the pit lane and it ultimately ended up costing Verstappen's lap. Whether he put that on pole, I think he does put that on pole. But as you said, Russell, it works in Russell's favour, and Russell just had the clean air in front of him today. In turn one, I did think that Verstappen was going to pip him, but obviously he had Norris and Piastri to guard, so Verstappen was focused on retaining P2 and not letting Piastri or Norris get ahead of him, and Russell was just able to eke out that gap, keep on eking it out. When Verstappen did pit the hard tyres, he was absolutely flying because he came out 7.2 seconds behind Hamilton, who's in front of him. Then in 3 laps, he cut that deficit down to 1.2 seconds in 3 laps. That was incredible. Two seconds a lap he shaved off, and then then when Norris and Piastri pitted, he went ahead of them, and then Russell was 2.9 seconds ahead of Verstappen from 7.8, something like that. So he made up nearly 7 seconds there, but Russell's tyres came to the optimal temperature range and Russell was just able to manage that race from there on in, and Verstappen didn't even have a sniff after that.
Bro, did you see when George Russell sat down during his interview?
What happened?
It was 3 of them. You know how they interview 3 drivers at once now?
Oh, yeah, Coldwood.
George Russell sat down during his interview because that's how hot it was, bro. Like these.
Yeah, Singapore's one of the most physically grueling races of the year.
And you would want to go there this time of year. It is really hot. I've been there. I used to go around October at times as well. It's not the times that you really think you could go there and think, wow, it's good weather. No, Southeast Asia, guys. If you fly over here, you might know it is really hot. The climate over here is mad. Climate change.
That's not too bad. 28. To be honest, it's probably hot on track. That's the thing.
No, but inside the car it's 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Celsius.
Yeah. So
especially
it's
if
the
you're
car.
in Southeast Asia, yeah, nah. You might need to take 2 or 3 baths after the race itself. You know what I mean? It is really hot. But King.
Yeah, and today they had the cooling vest as well today, the 5 kilo cooling vest. I don't think it worked that much because the drivers were still very sweaty and right after that. Yeah.
And he, like the way George Russell was like, nah, I'm not interested in Max's interview. I'm gonna sit down and wipe my sweat. You know what I mean?
Now I think it's the history of Russell as well because he crashed in 2019 at Singapore, 2022 at Singapore, 2023 Singapore.
2023 Singapore, he crashed out.
Yeah,
he was
and 2022 as well.
I was like, he finally broke his Singapore duck, man. He finally broke his duck.
And then in practice the other day he crashed as well.
Yeah.
So I think this just like, I think he's got over the curse of Singapore, curse of George Russell in Singapore, and
the Singapore duck is unbroken.
Yeah, and he's won the race, and I don't think it's as bad for Verstappen because Russell's only got 7 points above Verstappen, and while Verstappen would have liked the race victory today, the full 25 points, Russell's not his title rival. It is Piastri and Norris if he is going to get back and do it.
King, George Russell wins the Grand Prix.
I think George Russell was. It was a great race, but he was lucky that Verstappen was the one behind him. I think there was a lot more pace in the McLaren than we got to see. I think because they were, you saw in terms of, I feel like the two McLarens and Kimi had a lot more pace than they could show. Kimi was stuck behind Charles for most of the race, and it only took him to, I think, the very end where he got past him in like the last couple laps. And then with the McLarens, especially Lando Norris, he was stuck behind Verstappen. And to be honest, if he was able to get by Verstappen, I think he could have caught up to George towards the end of that race. And also in the start, Max and Red Bull made a very risky decision in taking the soft tires at the start in order to give him the opportunity to pass George in the first lap. But when he didn't do that, when he had, first of all, he had a worse start than George. Then he was struggling to keep the McLarens behind him. As soon as that happened, pretty much George was able to have his race, have his way with the race, and just go off in the distance while the McLarens were struggling behind Max. Obviously, the two McLarens had their incident as well, so that kind of slowed them both down as well for a little piece in that first lap. And as soon as George got the clean air, he was the only one with clean air. He was able to go off in the distance and pretty much dictate the race. So yeah, I just think, yeah, I feel like everything that came with this weekend, I think everything fell into place for George to win the race. Kimi was unlucky because he was behind Charles, and I feel like he could have easily got a podium today if he was able to pass Charles earlier as well. I think if there was more opportunity to pass cars, I think the first three would have been a different. I don't think Max would have been on the podium if there was more opportunities to pass, because I don't think his car had the pace of either of the Mercedes or the McLaren in that particular race, especially how quick his soft tires went out and how quick and obviously in order for him to try and catch up to George and defend the overtakes of the papayas in terms of the pit stops, he had to overwork his hard tires at the start of his stint and pretty much put in what's it called, fastest lap type times in order for him to keep that second position. And he just did about, and I would say, and also you also had to factor in the back markers that got in the way as well. They affected the race a lot towards the end, because they were racing their own race, but they were affecting the distances between Verstappen and Norris. And I think they benefited Max as well, because they stopped Norris from being able to have that clean way of trying to get at him and reduce the amount of opportunities that Norris had to pass Verstappen. So I think everything that happened within that race led for George to win. Yeah, I just think the Mercedes was the best car on the day, McLaren second, and then the Max third. But luckily, Kimi was stuck behind a Ferrari. The two McLarens were stuck behind. Well, one of the McLarens was stuck behind Max, and the other McLaren had a really bad pit stop, because of what happened. And also, last but not least, a shout out to Alonso after having a 9-second pit stop to still get points as well. Well, no, actually, did he get points? I think he did get points.
Yeah, he finished 8th. He got 4 points.
Yeah, to still get points after that 9-second pit stop. Yeah, man, good on him, man. Rookie of the year.
Yeah, big up.
Yeah, big up Carlos Sainz as well.
Yeah,
Carlos Sainz qualified 18th and finished 10th. That's a point for him. But back to what African King said about Verstappen. Verstappen on his stint after coming out the pit box on his hard tyres, just working and putting fastest laps after fastest laps together. I felt like I was playing F1 Manager. You know, when you're on F1 Manager and you have you guys played F1 Manager?
Yeah.
Not really, but I think I've seen.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. When you put it all the way to the red.
Yeah, you put it all the way to the red. You put the fuel allowance on red, the tire dead on red. Yeah. I felt like I was watching that because Yeah, because he came out of pit box, he was absolutely flying because
Yeah.
there's a technique that F1 teams do called scrubbing where they take the outside layer of rubber off the tires, which allows it to bed in quicker and the temperatures to come quicker. But this, because they wanted to last a whole race, they put on a fresh set of hard tires, and Verstappen was absolutely flying. But this shows that even the greatest of drivers have limitations because even though he's absolutely wringing the neck out of those tires, overcoming 7-second deficits to drivers ahead, he was still making mistakes. Like he locked up, he had a massive lockup. I've never seen him lock up like that before. When he lost about 2 seconds from that lockup, that's something that you'd expect of Norris. Remember Norris in Spa when he kept locking up,
Yeah.
chasing Piastri in front of him. That was basically the same situation. I've never seen Verstappen overwork to the limit like this, and he doesn't get what he wants in the result, and it's not effective because Russell just kept eking the gap, eking the gap, and
Yeah.
obviously Russell and Verstappen are part of the same driver generation, only born a year apart, and I think this will allow Russell to obviously first negotiate with Mercedes, ask Toto Wolff, or am I part of your future driver plans, and am I in your reg in your plans for the new regulation cycle? And two, for him to lay down the marker and say, look, I am as good as I'm actually in some weekends I can be better than Verstappen, but I am equal to Verstappen in terms of race pace, racecraft, everything, tire management. I am not worse than him just because the stats say that I've got six race victories now? 5 or 6 race victories now, and he's got 4 world championships I've got none. I'm not inferior to him in any way. And I think that just showed that Verstappen has limits. And when the gap got to 2.9 seconds between Russell and Verstappen, I did think he was going to close it down even more. But obviously, fair play to George Russell because he kept wringing it out.
Yeah, second race win as well. So he's got 2 race wins.
Yeah, this season.
Yeah, if it isn't a Papaya or Max, George wins the race.
Not Ferrari.
Speaking
No
of Ferrari,
Ferrari wins.
we will talk about Ferrari just a bit because Lewis Hamilton was 0.4 seconds behind what was it, Kimi Antonelli, and he fell off the track, and his time got deleted by a lot of seconds. Not deleted, excuse me. His time, he lost a lot of time. He lost a lot of time. And bro, we're talking about the same Fernando Alonso that was 40 seconds behind him, and finished with 0.4 seconds behind him. You know what I mean? So Lewis Hamilton, bit of an error there from his part, and Charles Leclerc just didn't have a good race. I mean, Charles overtook Lewis Hamilton, and then he was catching up to Kimi, and then Hamilton had the faster car towards the end, but fell off the track and got his time taken away. But anyone to add to the Ferrari as well today? I mean,
Yeah, so Hamilton was going for a 2-stop, but the drivers behind him, the nearest one was 54 seconds behind, so he decided to pit for softs, and then he got past Leclerc fairly easily, and then, as you said, he just fell off the track.
King.
He lost his brakes. His brakes broke pretty much towards the end of the race.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
Didn't Leclerc have the same issues?
Even Leclerc had the same issue.
Yeah.
But it cost him a lot because not only did it cost him towards the end of the race to catch up to Kimi, it cost him 5-second penalty, and he actually ended up finishing behind Alonso. So he dropped to 8th. Alonso finished 7th. So good. So congrats to Alonso. He got actual 7th. So yeah, unlucky towards the end for Lewis.
I thought
He
Lewis
tried.
above Alonso.
No, but he got a 5-second penalty because he track limits because of no
I
brakes.
didn't hear about that. I never
Yeah, track limits because of his brakes going at the end.
6
He had a
points.
bunch of racer. Yeah, so he lost 5-second penalty that lost him the 7th place to Alonso. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that his brakes went at the end. I think if his brakes didn't go at the end, I think he could have caught up to Kimi. I think he could have passed Kimi, especially being in the softer tires as well, the speed he was going at. But it wasn't Ferrari's day. To be honest, they didn't have the car to compete with the ones ahead of them. Mercedes, McLaren, and Max were quicker than the Ferraris, and not much else really to say. Not much really else to say. Just not the car to compete. Really, they don't.
Yeah.
Ferrari isn't in compete mode right now.
Fernando Alonso as well, getting driver of the day. After
He
that,
deserves that. He deserves that.
Yeah.
The team tried to screw him over, man. 9 second pit stop. That's crazy.
Yeah. You see the TV broadcast, they even show signs of Alonso gaining places. They just showed the battle for P2 between Verstappen and Norris. And
Yeah.
did you see there at the end, near the end, Hadjar was one of the lapped cars that they were going to pass, and then I think Hadjar's engineer over the mic, he said, remember what he said about this championship battle? And then I think that was just I think that was him saying, let Verstappen pass, but guard Norris. But he just let both cars pass him, which is respect to him because he didn't have to do that because obviously they're the sister team and the sister team want to help their senior team in as many ways as possible. But obviously he didn't obey to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, he had to let them both through because even if he tried to block, let's say he tried to block Norris, he would ruin his own race. Obviously, he finished outside the points. Unfortunately, Racing Bulls didn't give him the position to get points. Unfortunately, big up to Behrman for getting points as well. Carlos Alonso, great drives from them. But yeah, I just think Ferrari ain't it at the moment, and yeah, I don't have anything really else to say. Unfortunate for Hamilton with his brake issue, and Charles was just in a race of his own. To be honest, he was just racing. I'm pretty sure he was hot on board. I'm not gonna lie.
Carlos Sainz as well made the jump from what was it, P
18 to 10.
18 to 10.
Yeah.
We're taking it away, bro. You wanted to talk about that as well.
Yeah, I think the TV broadcasters should have just panned to that more because hang on these headphones.
No worries.
The TV broadcasters should have paid more attention to that because Sainz gaining 18th, gaining 8 places on a track where it's notoriously difficult to overtake and the streets are so narrow and you have to be on the limit to even gain places. You have to be barely scraping the wall to gain places. I think that is commendable for Sainz to get points today.
Yeah, and especially his first stint where he went so long as well.
Yeah. He
To
didn't
keep
pit.
he
I
didn't
think he's
pit
one
for
of the last
time.
to pit. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't pit for time. So in order for them to keep them tires for that long as well, yeah, man, what a great drive from him. You know,
I could you could make the case that he deserved driver of the day as well. You could
Yeah.
make the case that he deserved it as well because obviously, like,
yeah, definitely.
was
I think they
unlucky
should could have been a joint effort thing.
he was unlucky with his penalty that he got yesterday, in my opinion. I think it was unlucky that he received it towards the end. I mean, he got disqualified because of the rear wing. You said, yeah.
Yeah,
rear
both
wing
of them.
dimensions, yeah.
But yeah, it's nothing to do with him, but the team in it.
That's
So if
it's not his fault, yeah. So they kind of screwed him over in that sense because Carlos Sainz could have actually had a good race. He was looking. You know what it is? He could have been an outsider to finish top 5 if it wasn't for his rear wing. He had the pace. You could literally see it. He literally had from P18 to was it P10 on or P8 on a Singapore track that's so hard to overtake. Fair play to Carlos Sainz. You could have made the case he deserved driver of the day too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that just goes to show like the experience he has because he won on this circuit 2 years ago. He did a masterclass in keeping Norris and Russell behind and caused Russell to crash. And now 2 years later, the experience has repaid because he's gone from P18 to P10 after a qualifying session that was dictated by his team that made an error and he got penalised for it.
Okay, all right, into that.
No, perfect race from him. Got his team a point, which is good. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really much, but it's just more of a great drive for him. Yeah, after the mistakes from Williams, I think they're ruining it because I think the places they actually were in terms of the track position, they probably could have finished in better position. I think both of their drivers could have got points today.
Yeah. But it was
But their loss is the gain of Alonso and Behrman. So
and Isaac Hadjar, man, had issues with his engine at the start as well. Remember he was.
oh
Remember,
he had
he was gonna.
engine
He was,
issues.
I think he was gonna retire from the race. Apparently, he was. There was some issue with the engine. He said, "I was thinking, oh shit, he might retire here." Like there was a chance he could have retired from the race, early on as well, with engine and everything like that. But King, obviously,
he couldn't be as quick as he wanted to. I think that's another reason why he didn't get points as well. So, unlucky for Hadja the Badger, but he's still showing that he's the better driver in the racing bulls. And he still finished above Yuki even with his engine problems in the faster sister car or in the big brother car. So he's definitely going to be a Red Bull driver soon, and I have no doubt in the talent that he has.
Deserves it, 100% deserves it.
Yeah, man.
Maybe they could have considered
his quality.
They could have considered that a long time ago. To be fair, I mean Yuki was doing well at the start with Racing Bull, but then again, like Isaac Hadjar stepped it up mid-season.
Yeah, I think you saw him. I think you saw
with the car he has, racing like that, with the cars not even fast. That's not even comparable to the top 10. Finishing, getting them consistent points as well all season. Isaac Hadjar credits him. I think he deserves that Red Bull 100%. And Red Bull ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Red Bull are not going anywhere anytime soon. People, we think that Red Bull are going to struggle next year. I don't think so. Now I don't think so. But remember, I know you wanted to add something about the Isaac Hadjar as well. I know you wanted to add something more.
Yeah, I think Snowden and Lawson are getting the axe next year. I've seen rumours online that Richard, what's his name, Alex Dunn, the F2 driver who's in McLaren's driver academy. He got a release from McLaren's driver academy, and I think he's in Red Bull's junior program now. And I think he's going to be in that VCOB seat next year alongside Arvid Lindblad, the 17-year-old currently racing F2, who's part of the Red Bull junior program. And Isaac Hadjar is going to be promoted to the Red Bull senior team. And I was going to say about Russell, because Russell's Mercedes and Mercedes in general, their car comes alive in cold circuits. When the circuit is colder than usual, when the tarmac is colder than usual, like we saw it in Las Vegas last year, and we saw it in Spa and Silverstone. Even the engineers don't know why their car behaves like this when the car only comes alive on cold surfaces. And today we saw maybe there was an anomaly today in Singapore, but I think that tarmac today was colder than usual, and that's why Russell's car came alive. Oh yeah, Montreal this year as well. Earlier Montreal this year, the tarmac was quite cold compared to a normal temperature.
Oh, what AK even left? All right.
No, you guys continue for a bit. I'll be right back. Yeah, just be right back.
No problem. Also, shout out to Behrman as well. Oliver Behrman. He's been elite. Obviously, he's been the lead driver in his team. Considering
has he? I think it's Ocon regarding the experience and everything.
No,
I
mean he's been beating the lead driver in his team recently as well. I think he's been better than Ocon in recent races, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
So he's coming in his own.
I think that's a slap in the face for Ocon, because this is Behrman's first full season in F1 and he's being beaten. He's been thrown in a dishwasher by Oliver Behrman.
Yeah, a couple times now. But yeah, I think Behrman and Hadjar are ones to watch out for the future. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens next season. Like, it's an interesting thought that Lawson and both Tsunoda are going to be out of the Red Bull situation. But and Hadjar in next to Max will be an interesting pairing. It would be a very interesting pairing next season.
Yeah. As I said, it's just a rumor. It's not 100% confirmed. But Arvid Lindblad, he definitely has a very, very high possibility of being in that VCOB seat next year. Alex Dunn, I think he has quite a big chance as well, because his FP1 time compared to Piastri was 0.069 seconds off in his first 20 laps in that MCL 39. So I think that just showed he has raw pace. But obviously he's been a bit of a hothead and he's had quite a few incidents in this year's Formula 2 season. He was a championship leader and I think he's 4th or 5th right now. So I think that just goes to show that he has a bit of unpredictability and erraticness about him.
Yeah. So he might not be one that they look at.
Yeah,
But who's the top three in F2 at the moment? Because I haven't been.
I think it's Leonardo Fornaroli who's number one. Let me just go have a look.
Yeah, he's number one. He is.
Yeah,
Jack
Fornaroli.
Crawford and
Yeah.
Luke Browning is third. Are they associated with anyone?
I'm not sure, but I think Jack Crawford is an Alpine, if I'm not mistaken.
Aston
Richard.
Martin. He's an Aston Martin driver.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He drove the AMR 23. I think it was AMR 22 on the streets of Houston, Texas. Yeah.
Luke Browning's a Williams driver. Okay, so Luke Browning, Jack Crawford's. You know, it's funny. Jack Crawford is an Aston Martin driver. He's probably not going to get a chance at that seat anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely not. He's going to be sidelined like Felipe Drugovich. Drugovich won the Formula 2 championship and he hasn't even had a sniff in that car,
Yeah.
apart from free practice sessions. Even when
Mm.
Stroll broke his wrist in, was it Barcelona this year?
Yeah.
He participated in the qualifying session, which meant that no one could replace him. So he just sat out that race and Aston Martin had one driver in that car. But Richard Verschel, he is fourth in the standings. He needs to pack it in because he's 25 years old. He's been racing in Formula 2 since 2019. He's not going to get a shot in Formula 1 or the WEC anytime soon. I think he just needs to give up that
Yeah.
career because he's been in there far too long.
Oh man, this guy,
seventh in the championship.
This guy who's first in the F2 won the F3.
Yeah, he won the Formula 3 championship last year. Yep.
And he's winning F2. How's he? And he's Italian. Hey, Ferrari, man.
Beganovic is in the Dino Beganovic, the Swedish guy. He's in Ferrari's driver academy.
Oh, is he? Wait, was one of the 5 young talents and the Ferrari driver? Is he? This guy's not in the Ferrari driver academy. This
Fornaroli.
What's his name? Yeah.
I don't think so.
Damn. Like Ferrari, man, you need to stop looking at some of these talents. This guy's 20 as well, 20 and winning back-to-back championships. Well, on his way to win back-to-back championships. That's crazy.
Yeah, with the composure he has, I don't see anyone else winning that Formula 2 championship this year.
Yeah, 4 race wins, pretty much points finishing in most of the races, which in F2 is crazy. Yeah,
Marty,
man.
Yeah, the Marty guy who's fourth. I'm pretty sure Pepe Marty. He's in the Williams driver academy.
Yeah, man. Ferrari slacking, man. You got an Italian right there, ready and willing and able to at least join maybe a Ferrari sister team. Maybe.
Kimi could be a Ferrari driver in the future. Who knows? He could be a Ferrari driver.
Have you heard the rumours that Carlos Sainz is being considered by Mercedes for next year? That Antonelli's going to get the X.
If that's the case, that's a very good replacement.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Williams are going to allow that.
That's a very ruthless approach by if that's the case by Mercedes. That's a very ruthless approach. But then again, where does Kimi go? Does he go back to F2? Does he stay as a reserve driver,
replacing Colapinto Alpine?
Yeah, he goes Alpine, but I don't think they do that for Carlos Sainz. That's not worth it.
Yeah, but you say ruthless, Akovin, but this sport is known for being ruthless. If you don't get results, you're out. Mercedes has been the poster team for Formula One from 2014 to 2021, and Mercedes is one of the biggest marks in the history of motorsport, and in Formula One particularly over the last decade. And Antonelli, he was in the seat of the most successful, most prestigious Formula One driver in history, and he's not performing at the level that Toto Wolff wanted. Obviously, Toto Wolff's love child still. This 18-year-old kid being thrown to Formula One seat, gets pole position in Miami sprint qualifying, and now he's just, compared to Russell, he's not really getting the results that Toto Wolff wanted.
Yeah, but for a rookie season, it's not too bad. For a rookie season, he's 7th, 88 points. It's obviously he could have had more, but every driver ahead of him is either a race winner or a champion. So, I mean, he's competing with some of the best, and him being on a rookie season, yeah, I think they keep Kemi. But if I'm Haas, I'm getting rid of Ocon and bringing this Fornaroli guy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I don't know if Haas will get rid of Ocon like that.
Exactly.
They should, because why do they care about that Frenchman? Tool for nothing. He's 29, bro, and ain't getting any better. Get rid of him, man.
The issue is that they're not
man's game.
They're not gonna find a better driver because they're not gonna get a better driver.
For the price point, I think he's on $6 million a year, his salary. So I think for that drive, for that pay packet, I don't think you're gonna find a driver who's especially a race winner. And obviously, he got that podium in Sao Paulo last year. I think that was a big thing where he showed his value as a Formula One driver. I think that was a big pull in terms of his Formula One ability. And I think that was what he showed to Haas in his PowerPoint presentation when he went to that team. And I think he did have an offer from Sauber last year, maybe. But in terms of his Formula One career going forward, I think Haas was a correct choice. And I don't think Haas are going to bin him anytime soon.
I will. I'll bin him. I'll bin him for this Fornaroli guy, bro. F3, F2 championship, back-to-back Italian 20. Come on, man. That's the future right there.
Yeah, the last
we
time
ain't thinking about the past. Thinking about future, baby. Yeah, man. All the old man has to go in the bin.
Last time a Formula 3 driver, last time a Formula 3 and a Formula 2 driver won back-to-back championships, it was Charles Leclerc, then it was George Russell, and then it was Oscar Piastri, now it's Gabriel Bortoleto. And 3 of them are race winners, and 1 is in contention for the World Championship this year. So that just goes to show that such difficult series to win. I think the drivers who are caught above the mustard, they show themselves in the standings, and they go on to win them championships and come to have fruitful careers in Formula One.
Yeah, if I'm an F1 team, Fornaroli needs to be a guy that you look at. 20 with back-to-back championships. Come on, man. People need to start actually thinking, because there's guys on this grid that don't need to be here. Lance Stroll, you can go. Hulkenberg, it was nice while you're around. Goodbye.
Hulkenberg can stay. Hulkenberg can stay.
Esteban Ocon, oui, Wizards, Seva, goodbye. And who else? And especially with 2 old men coming through, with Sergio Perez and Bottas coming through, we need to young the age a bit, because they've olded it up. Old man.
Drivers I'd get rid of is.
Where does Nico Hulkenberg go next year?
Audi.
He's gonna be in Audi with Bortoleto. Audi's gonna be a fun team to watch next year.
German. He won the 2015-25 Le Mans with Porsche. Now he's racing for a German mark in Formula One.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I think Esteban should go though. If Fornaroli's available, you can get him for a 6th or even a 7th for the price. You probably can get him for $500,000 a year in his first year.
Yeah.
Or like
look at it like that. Definitely Stroll gets a boot. Ocon, I think, kick him out. And I think also Colapinto, get rid of him as well.
Yeah. Well, no, he's gone. Colapinto's gone. It'll be interesting to see who Gasly is paired with. Yeah, he's gone.
I think
he's pretty much
out. I think it's a bad move.
This was the last race today.
No, I mean next season he's gone.
Oh yeah, because Colapinto's staying until the end of this season.
Yeah, he's gone next season.
Did you see
where's he going?
Did you see Alpine's management? They said they're not considering to put what's his name again? Jack Doohan back in the car. They're not considering that at all.
No, I don't think they would. I don't think they're gonna consider either one of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think they're gonna get a fresh driver.
They've also got a lot. I think they got 5 or 6 reserve drivers. I think one of them is Ryohei Yanto. I think he's a super Formula driver, if I'm not mistaken. So they've got a lot of people there. But obviously, if you got a guy like Antonelli in there or Fornaroli, he goes to the top of the pile because obviously his achievements in the past and the team he's raced for.
Yeah, if they can get Antonelli or Fornaroli, one of them Italians, if either one of those Italians are available, I'm going for them. But if I'm Haas and Fornaroli is available, I'm going for him as well.
Yeah.
Or Kimi.
If that'd work because Haas has a Ferrari engine. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would work. And he's a former. He was in the Ferrari Driver Academy as a kid.
Interesting. But anyways, your biggest takeaways from this race, and then we'll close out.
There's three
biggest
cars that
takeaway-
can win a race. Go ahead.
My biggest takeaway from this race was that even the fastest driver in Formula One history can't outwork a bad situation or a bad car. Did you see him? He said that this situation is just impossible to drive in. He obviously did remarkably well to keep P2, even with his downshifting issues when the gearbox was jamming. I think Red Bull have had a lot of gearbox issues for some reason. They need to sort that out going forward. But this just goes to show that even the greatest of them aren't God, and they're not superhuman. They're not superheroes. They can't outwork a bad situation. They are just human, and they're limited by the abilities and their genetics. And also, George Russell laying down a marker saying that, look, Mercedes, if they have the championship winning car next year, I'm taking that championship home. Even though there's Verstappen who's going to challenge me, even if Leclerc's going to challenge me, these two guys from my generation, I'm going to pip them all. Even if they have more achievements than me, I'm going to pip them all. And also, Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso, the two Spaniards, doing remarkably well to go and get points for Aston Martin and Williams, respectively.
Cool. King, your biggest takeaway was what? What was that?
For me, with the resurgence of Mercedes, I think that's gonna, well, at least if this is a current trend, because Mercedes have won the last two races or last three.
They won the last. No, I don't think they won the last race. Max Verstappen won the last race.
Well, they've
Mercedes
won
haven't won
two
the
of the last
races
three.
Montreal.
They
No,
won
because
that.
Verstappen won in Monza and Verstappen won in Baku. And then
Okay, no.
not
Oh,
won-
yeah. My
Yeah.
bad. No, but in the last three races, McLaren haven't won. Obviously, two Red Bull wins and a Mercedes win. So Mercedes, Red Bull are gonna be big factors in who wins the championship, just because both those cars have the ability to win races now with George and Max, and that drop of points could affect the title race between Lando and Oscar. So every position counts, and I think it
100%.
means that the qualifyings are much more important because of how close the cars are. So there are there are four cars on the track that can win a race.
Is that
At the
are
current,
you including the Ferrari in there or the Racing Bulls?
no, the two McLarens, Max, George.
Oh, okay.
Kimi is just too inexperienced, and Yuki is nowhere to be seen.
100%, yeah, I agree with that. And then obviously two Ferraris are nowhere to be seen. So.
Yeah, they're nowhere to be seen. So there's only four guys that can win races, and if one of those guys aren't one of the McLarens and they are third and fourth or second and fourth or whatever position they finish in, it's going to affect the whole season. So George being a part of the winners list and winning his second race and dominating the way he did, especially with the way the car moved, Mercedes are going to have a big conversation in terms of who wins the Drivers' Championship.
For me, I think the biggest takeaway from this weekend was that Max finishing 0.10 seconds behind Russell costed him his race, costed him his win, because all he ever had to do was go 10 seconds fast. I know Norris was in the way, but then again, you had to have done better still. 10 seconds.
No, but the car in front of him, Norris, in qualifying, he was jogging to that pit lane. He did not want to move on with things, and obviously that affected Verstappen's lap.
Was it a good tactic by him? You think it was a good tactic by him?
Yeah, 100%. In terms of gamesmanship, in terms of dirty tactics, this was right up there with what we've seen so far this season. Big up Jacques, but obviously Norris yesterday.
That's tomorrow with me.
Big up. Norris yesterday, he laid down the foundation for what he was going to do today, which was lay down the marker for him, showing that he won't be moved by Piastri. But I think that yesterday, when Verstappen was Verstappen was doing his final qualifying lap in Q3, and when he backed off there, I think that was a pole lap. And when you said to me Akovin today, you said that he got a good start. I don't think he got a good start, actually. I think Russell got the best start on the grid, and Verstappen had the same start as Piastri and Norris behind him, and he just had to keep them at bay, and he wasn't focused on chasing Russell down the road.
I also take away that Carlos Sainz, I think, was robbed of a top 10 finish by his own team today.
He did get top 10 finish.
I mean, top five. Excuse me, top five. He could have had a top 5 finish, because Singapore is where I think he really has.
Excels.
Yeah, it excels, because it's more of where he doesn't get overtaken. It's more of where he qualifies best as well. Also, George Russell, I think this is Mercedes' time to show that, okay, next year we are
Back.
we're the team. Next year, Mercedes are gonna say, yeah, they've put a mark down on this race, saying we are the team next year. George Russell just proved why he was so much faster than everyone else today. His car, his preparation, the team's preparation, everything was done so well. And the McLarens, they've tailed off. It looks like they've tailed off slightly. I know they looked a lot faster than Max Verstappen, but then again, they've tailed off. In Singapore, it's hard to overtake. Verstappen defended himself very, very well. Got a second place, and is now back in the championship. I will ask you guys this question. I know you want to say something, Andrea. You want to say something just now?
Yeah, when Norris was Norris was chasing P2, I don't think under any circumstances with back markers in front of him and Verstappen's defending and these tight street corners, I don't think there was a hope in hell for Norris to get P2 and pass Verstappen there. And this is what I was also going to ask. Next race in Colton 2 weeks on the 19th of October. Do you think that this is, Austin, Texas, yeah, where obviously Norris and Verstappen had their infamous feud last year, and I think this just goes to show that Red Bull are back and Mercedes are back in the last quarter of this year and the last quarter of this regulation cycle. What I was going to ask here was, will McLaren get P1 and 2 there, or will they struggle behind the likes of Red Bull and Mercedes next race, and even Ferrari?
I think they'll struggle. Why? It's
Yeah.
because they've already won the Constructors' Championship. It's going to be a lack of team chemistry in that race. The lack of team chemistry is going to be the lack of, support from engineers. There'll be certain bias towards one another, because it's now Lando versus Oscar. It's no more Lando and Oscar. That's done now. Now it's going to be Lando versus Oscar and versus Max. So the pressure is there. They have to deal with the pressure. They have to deal with circumstances around it. They have to deal with, the conditions and whatnot. Like I said, the pressure is building. This is coming towards the final 6 races of the year. This is the final
six left and 3 sprints. I think in Texas there is a sprint. Next race weekend, it's a sprint weekend.
So we're gonna do a sprint preview then, people. We're gonna do a
sprint preview. Didn't Leclerc win the main race last year in Texas? He did, right? Leclerc.
I think he did. I don't think he did. Oh, no, Leclerc. I don't remember.
Leclerc did win Texas last year.
Okay, but anywho, like even if he did win that, I was just gonna say that, like I said, this year it's gonna be the McLaren drivers against each other now, and that's where tension starts to rise. That's where there'll be more there'll be more arguments. There'll be a lack of chemistry, because I think I know it sounds funny for me to say this, but both drivers were driving, not driving, but they were pushing each other, because there was team chemistry to go and win. Both their cars were really, really good. But because remember earlier in the year there was radio talks where I heard, I think Oscar was saying something about Lando on the radio, and then Lando was saying something about Oscar on the radio. They're talking about each other. Now they're gonna talk about, like, they're gonna talk against each other. You know what I'm trying to say? That's where I feel like, you know what I mean. I know I said repetitive things, but That's just my opinion on it. But you guys can elaborate.
I just lost my train of thought there. Wait. So, did you see? I think it was 1 or 2 weeks back. I think this was just after Baku's race. I think Norris said that there's been no such thing as Papaya rules. I mean, there's been no such thing as, Papaya rules was a code name for just saying, just race each other as hard as possible, as hard as you need to, as hard as you want to, but just don't crash into each other.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
said that element of team play didn't exist. And I think this what you're going to get in these next 6 races and these next 3 sprint races is going to be the real McLaren. What they've wanted to do all year. They've sealed the Constructors' Championship now, and they're just going to go all out for a fight for the World Championship. And I think there is a one DNF between them. When they crash into each other, I think it might be in Las Vegas where they crash into each other. When they crash into each other, when they both DNF, that's when they're going to find out you're not my friend. So, you are my World Championship rival. When I look in the mirror, I don't want to. When I look in the mirror and see myself, I want to see myself as the World Championship material. I don't want to get bullied on track. I don't want to get barged on track. I don't want to get beaten on track. And I don't want to give a position on track. And just because you exist, just because you're my friend, just because you're on the other side of the garage, just because you're in my phone contact book, just because I have to make Google Pixel videos with you, just because I have to share a dinner table with you, just because I have to be in team meetings with you, team briefings, you're not my friend. And we just have to go all out on track and just try and win the World Championship, because when again I would have a golden chance like this. The Constructors' Championship proves it. McLaren are 350 points ahead of Mercedes, or next in line to our second place in standing. So just this just personifies how ahead of the competition the car was, and now Red Bull and Mercedes are catching up. So it looks like dire times may be coming for McLaren. Dire times are coming for McLaren, but I mean in terms of the Drivers' Championship.
King, any other to add as well now?
No, I got nothing else to say. That was really well done, Byron. I got nothing else to add.
So, now, the tensions are starting to rise. The gap is now down to 63.
Yeah, for Verstappen. Yeah.
For Verstappen versus Verstappen and Piastri now. And then for as for Norris, it was 44 today. Prior to today, it was like 44 points. Not mistaken.
Yeah, 44 prior to today.
It was 44. Now it's like what?
22.
22. No, I mean Verstappen and Piastri. Sorry,
Verstappen and Piastri.
No, Verstappen and Lando. Excuse me, Verstappen and Lando.
Let me have a look.
Here.
41. 41 points.
Between Lando and Verstappen, yeah? 41 points?
Yep.
So, yeah, there you go. It just tells you a lot you need to know. It just tells you that this is now coming down to the final few weeks. Where do you guys see the... I'll start with King on this one first, yeah? Where do you see the mark? Where do you see this race getting to its limits? Where do you see them putting a marker? Where does it get interesting? You know what I mean? If it does get interesting,
Between the drivers?
Between the 3 drivers, yes. Where do things get interesting? Where do you guys think that this might be something that, you know what?
It'll get interesting if the McLarens crash into each other, which could happen now. Norris putting the marker down the way he passed Oscar on that track, regressively, that might I add, is gonna just escalate it. So the way that Oscar was talking during the race, after the race, it was a very different Oscar. He was a frustrated figure. He even himself said that's not teammates. So now the constructors is done. They'll have their little celebrations, little party. 2 weeks will go. It's on now. We've said it throughout the day, and I think it's gonna just go from there. I think Max will do what Max does. I think he's on the periphery at the moment, but it gets interesting if there is a race where they crash each other out and Max wins. That's when it gets really close. That's when maybe there's some nail biting stuff. But we'll see. We'll see what happens when the elbows are out between the two McLaren drivers, especially because they're very similar in race pace, very similar in level, so they're always near each other anyway on the grid. So we're gonna see them have that fight in the first lap again, and maybe next time one won't back out, and if they don't back out, you know what happens.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in Formula One, crashings, and that's when I get excited. But we'll see. We'll see. I think they're gonna crash again. I feel they're gonna crash again, and that will probably be the end that Max needs if he wins that race. But as I said, Mercedes is also there, and if they have the pace, they may be a deterrent from Max winning a race as well with George Russell in that Mercedes after the showing he showed today. And even Kimi had a lot of pace in that car. So if Kimi is able to get a better qualifying in the next couple races, he will be an issue as well. Because I think if he ain't bogged down by that Ferrari, and also if the tracks are more racy tracks is gonna allow for more interesting conversations to have in terms of which cars do have the race pace. As I said, there's 4 cars that can win a race. There are 5 cars that are quick. Because Kimi's quick, I just don't think he can win a race. He can cause problems though. He can definitely get a top 3, a second or something. He can be a disruptor, especially if George is on to win a race, he can disrupt the other drivers. So points will be taken off of each other, and it'll be interesting to see how that works out throughout the last couple races. Plus the sprints as well; those are extra points. So a lot of points in the bag. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But as always, ABN, anybody but Norris. So if it's Max or Oscar, I don't mind. I don't mind who either one because they're not Ferrari, but it better not be Norris. Agenda must run.
Review, you want to answer me?
Yeah, so there's definitely at least one McLaren crash incoming where both drivers are out of a particular race. I think I'll just see it happening in either Las Vegas or Losail. That's just where I see it happening. That's just where I'm going to predict it's going to happen. There's at least one left there. There might be Mercedes componentry that fails, or there might be bad pit stops. But obviously, in the midst of all this happening, this McLaren feud, inter-team feud, there is a guy called Maximilian Verstappen who's going to just keep on nipping at the heels, and he's going to be there to pick up any loose points. And I think if he's close to perfect, he wasn't perfect today. He wasn't perfect in qualifying. You could say what you want about the pole position, but that was just masterful tactics from Norris, if I might add. He can be close to perfect, and if he is close to perfect, he is going to take those 6 race victories home, 3 sprint race victories of home. Obviously, conditions need to be perfect. He can't have a guy 4 seconds down the road in qualifying who's really slow to get back to his pit box because he's finished his qualifying session. He can't have that anymore. He just needs free air. He needs good toes in qualifying. He needs good upgrades. Obviously, Red Bull did bring the new floor, which helped him today in the race, and it helped him all weekend. But he's going to need optimal upgrades for the circuits, and I think if he gets that, he can be the world champion if McLaren falter.
I think things
That's a
getting.
big if.
Sorry. What were you saying? Finish your point.
That's a big if McLaren falter. If McLaren falter, if they combust to the point where they've given up the World Drivers' Championship, that's what I mean.
For me, I think things get interesting in Mexico. I think Mexico is where I look at. Okay, Norris is going to put the pressure. I think Verstappen will definitely be right behind Piastri. If Piastri doesn't step it up in the next few weeks, it could literally be within single digits. I think obviously Verstappen still has not a long way to go, but he still has a couple, 3 or 4 races to go to really catch the 2 McLaren drivers. But if I'm being honest, where I think it'll get interesting is where I look at Mexico. Mexico could be the race where I feel like it could be like that one. That's where they put it on the mark.
Or Sao Paulo.
Mexico's after, or what is it? Mexico's after Austin, yeah? Or is it?
Yes, after next race, yeah.
Yeah, so it could get interesting in the next 2 races. But with the final, I think with 4 races to go, that's where things get properly interesting. You know what I mean? But yeah, anything you guys want to say before you close out? If you haven't said anything that you wanted to say, please say it all now before we close out. It is more things.
I don't know if you
Okay.
saw before this weekend started. I think it was on the Thursday before this Singapore weekend started. Remember Will Buxton? Will Buxton used to be a F1 journalist, and now he works at IndyCar. Where he put out a statement this week saying that in the second half of last season, I was saying that Lando Norris could win the world championship. He said, I only said that to make it more interesting because I never thought that Lando Norris could win that world championship. But he said, this is Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen can be perfect. Max Verstappen is not Lando Norris, and he can do the impossible. That was his exact words. Max isn't Lando. Max can do the impossible. And I think that if a driver is going to be close to perfect, obviously he's better than Raikkonen, in my opinion. He's miles better than Raikkonen. And Raikkonen, when the McLaren drivers were fighting each other, Alonso and Hamilton, in Hamilton's first season, and Alonso was the reigning 2-time world champion. He had won the 2 world championships before that, 2005, 2006, come into this team, and he's alongside a rookie, and they nearly go all the way, and they end up in the same points tally as each other, and they lose the world championship by 1 point to Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen. Well, this could be Max Verstappen in that situation where Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are fighting to the point where they lose the Formula One World Drivers' Championship, the 2025 edition of the FIA Formula One World Drivers' Championship, on the final day in Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit in Yas Island, where they lose it because they had inter-team politics and had inter-team fights and had a feud where they just bottled it out on track and they let this guy become the 5-time world champion who puts his name in the history books alongside Juan Manuel Fangio as a 5-time Formula One World Drivers' Champion. And it's not Lando Norris and it's not Oscar Piastri gaining there first. And Oscar Piastri doesn't get the baton passed on to him where Daniel Ricciardo did not become the world champion. And that's the guy whose seat he replaced. That's the guy whose seat he came into.
Fair enough. King, you wanted to say them before we close? You have a lot to say.
Oh yeah. Official statement. Official statement from African King Academy. AN Sports will be the only channel where I will be talking about Formula One going forward. I will no longer be doing any watch-alongs, qualifying, race weekends, anything. The only time you will see me in Formula One merch will be on AN Sports talking about Formula One in this podcast. I love this podcast, but the way that Formula One did me dirty today, in terms of my channel, I can no longer in my conscience be able to do any Formula One content on my own channel, but I will still be here for this because I still watch Formula One. I still love Ferrari. I still love the sport and anybody but Norris. Anyway, that's it.
Nah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, King, I can only say I'm really, really sorry for what happened.
It's unfortunate.
And I'm just gonna say my subscribers are all your subscribers as well. Let me say it as well. Yeah, we're a community. We're
100%.
yeah we're
Look out for each other.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're pals.
Support each other's content.
We work with each other 100% content. We support each other's content. Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, I don't think you didn't deserve what you got. To be fair with you, I'm just gonna say this. I think it's a learning experience. I think it just teaches us to be more careful with certain moves we make on our channel, with certain things we decide to put up on our channel. But that's not me saying it's your fault. That's accidental and shit happens. Trust me. And also, it happened at the end of the race as well, isn't it? So that hurt the most. Trust me. And trust me, I know the feeling, man. Because I built my channel up to. We built this channel. Yeah, I didn't build this alone. Everyone, you guys have helped me build my channel. Yeah, you guys have helped me build my channel to what it is right now. And if I lose it, I can only say, do you know what? Yeah, it will hurt. It will definitely hurt. So trust me, King. It's not going anywhere. Your channel's not going anywhere. Trust me. You'll get it back. you don't need to worry about streaming right now. Just upload a few videos. I think you might as well just say upload a few videos here and there. You don't need
Or
to.
you can clip this stream.
Yeah, you can clip your points from the stream and please, if you want to
No,
upload it on
the channel. I'll see what happens on tomorrow, and then that channel will just be videos, and then I'll probably stream on my second
That's
channel
fine, bro.
if it comes to that. But
That's
yeah, no,
fine.
because I like streaming, man. I prefer streaming. I don't really like doing videos.
I get it, bro. So you can't stream at all on your channel.
No, I can't at the moment, and because obviously it's not a working day, I can't really talk to anyone. So I'll have to send an email or talk to someone tomorrow.
Tomorrow, please do so. I mean, you could do it in an hour, actually, is it? Unless.
No,
unless
working time. Like 9 to 5.
Fair enough.
I think,
So-
but and they're American company, so their 9 to 5 would even be later, so it might even be middle of the day tomorrow at some point.
American company run by Indian. No, I'm joking. No,
What you?
so-
You run it.
Yeah, I do. I run it. Yes, I run the YouTube.
It's your side hustle.
I run the YouTube. Surprise, surprise.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean? No, but anyways, King will definitely get his channel back up. It'll definitely get back up and running. It's
Yep,
not going
definitely.
anywhere. King's got his 155 subs. King's got his 154, 155 subs, whatever it is. Yeah, he should be on.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's very under subbed. So I've still put King's links in the description of the video. I couldn't fit it in the title, unfortunately. It is in the description of the video. So go and click on the description. King's links right there. African King Academy. Go follow his good work. He's gonna still do live videos, live shows, and whatnot. He's still gonna be doing. He has a second channel as well. So I'll put a second channel in just in case he has to stream on this second channel. I'll put it.
No, in the next episode, though, or the next time I'm on this channel for the NFL, I'll have more concrete on what channel I'll be officially on.
I will do 100%.
And I'm excited. I'm excited for the NFL show, regardless.
Yeah, we'll be back Wednesday for the NFL show. I'm back tomorrow for the Red Army Red Pot with Rasta, reviewing the United game on Saturday. In just about 7 hours from now. So I'll see you guys back again in 7 hours, and then again the following will be the Premier League show. So make sure you guys do tune into that. It'll be good laughs about about the weekend and whatnot. But anywho, you man. Subscribe to myself, subscribe to King. We're trying to get to 500.
Subscribe to AN Sports and subscribe to AF Academy 93.
My birthday is literally in, under 24 hours. So make sure you guys do go and sub to my channel. Go and sub to...
Was it the 6th or the 7th?
7th.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And make sure you guys go and subscribe. Like I said, we're trying to get to 500 subs. The road to 500 continue. Even if I don't reach it on my birthday, by this month, guys, by the end of October at best, we're trying to get to 500 subs, guys. We're trying to get to 500 subs, and I think we'll have a video special coming for you guys. I do have something lined up. I do have a lot to talk about. Well, not a lot to talk about. I mean, I have a show. I have a special show that I will be doing with the lads and whatnot. So make sure you guys do tune in. Games next week, guys. Me, Ranveer, King, and the lads will be doing some games next week. Football bingo, football tic-tac-toe, whatever it is. We'll be here. We'll be playing some games. So make sure you guys tune into that. If you have any suggestions for the tenable, you man, do that as well. And Beyond the Ball is back with Josh during the international break. So tune into that as well, people. And NFL shows, NBA shows. NBA is just around the corner, people. So King will be on the show for the season preview and whatnot. So yeah, big up to everyone who's locked in. Big up to everyone who's supported the channel from day one. I mean, we're trying to reach our goal. We're trying to surpass our goal, and then onwards and upwards from there. But people, bless up. Unless you guys have anything to say before we go.
Nah, just get AN Sports for 500 subs and subscribe to AF Academy 93 as well.
We're 42 subs away, people, and 15 likes on the video, people. Let's get the likes up as well, people. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video. It's at AN Sports on here. Here's the link for those watching on Twitter. It's this right here. Make sure you guys type this in. If anyone's watching from Twitter, please type this in on YouTube. Subscribe to AN Sports and subscribe to AFA Academy 93 as well. Just type it up. It's in the description of the video, people. when you find it, it's in the description of the video. But here it is anyways. I'll try and type it up. But King, let them know what videos or what content you plan to do in the next few days, bro. Since you know, what I mean, unfortunate.
Until I find out what happens tomorrow, I probably ain't gonna do anything until then, and then I'll be able to have more clarification going forward. But once I found out, I'll put a community post on my channel, and then if I am gonna use the other channel as the main live stream channel, then I'll also have that in the post as well. So we'll see. I'll know more tomorrow. But it's unfortunate that happened.
Here is King's link, people. Here is King's channel, and then this is my channel. And Ranveer has his channel, but obviously he doesn't do content on there. But someday, I will try and get him to do F1 content or whatnot on his channel. You know what I mean? All in due time, people. But yeah, this is our two channels. If you're watching from Twitter, go and follow these two channels on YouTube, and let's get the subscribers up, guys, people. But
Both channels get the subs up.
Yep. But people, we are out. Take care, people. Like,
See you,
share,
boys.
subscribe. See you guys very, very soon. Peace.
See you around.